what I've learned about myself, the 2nd of June, 2026. Change is good. I like change. I like new beginnings, the idea of new possibilities and a new future. But I'm also scared of change, scared of the unfamiliar and the uncertainty that can accompany it. In the beginning stages, it can be exciting. I dream of a new future and what it might hold. The chance to leave my old self behind and create a new identity. I start, I go all in. I'm determined to create my new life. Only as I get deeper into my transformation, I can start to feel a sense of uncertainty wanting to pull me back to the familiar. The patterns that have controlled my life before start to show up and try to pull me back in. The fear of uncertainty starts to overwhelm me and starts to whisper in my ear, calling me back. 3 decades of programming, tempting me to fall back on everything I've just committed to. But why would I even consider listening to these voices? I was unhappy in the past life. Why would I choose to go back to the suffering? Why does the mind play these tricks on us? Why would we listen to the voice that clearly doesn't have our best interests at heart? All I can do now is take it one day at a time. I'm doing as much as I can, and that should be more than enough to feel proud of myself. I've chosen this, chosen to take control. I'm wary of where my own mind might try to convince me otherwise. All that I can do now is my best to identify it and then create the strategies that give me the best chance to sustain the change I'm busy creating. So I I think it's just a daily thing, but every now and again I start to feel this pull back to my old ways of living. The familiar past that, although familiar, actually was not enjoyable to be in at the time. But when you don't really know any other way besides the way of, which for me was misery, depression, regret, guilt, all of these negative things were just controlling my mind on a daily basis. Or not controlling my mind, but I was thinking in this mindset, and then no wonder negative things would happen in my life. Things would always feel like they were falling apart. But I was always telling myself that it was going to fall apart. And then it inevitably would. So, one of the biggest things that I've learned in the past couple of weeks is being able to identify my negative past patterns and try my best to prevent them from manifesting themselves in my life again. But it's not fucking easy. It's like I'll be on such a good path, super determined, spend a week every day following my routine, thinking of the new future that I want to be building for myself, only to have doubts creep in again and make me want to just fall back into what has become the easier thing for me. Trying to create a new future and break down your old thought patterns and habits is not easy. And again, it's just this constant, I think it's just a never ending challenge that, well, it's going to be not a never ending challenge, but a prolonged challenge to break almost 30 years of being in that same sort of victim mentality. Why is this happening to me? Why is everything going wrong? Where I was actually becoming the victim to my own thoughts and my own manifestations of things going wrong in my life. And yeah, just being able to take responsibility and accountability for those past ways of thinking so that I can break through and not have my future be a reflection of my past. And yeah, every day kind of my conviction grows, but then also some of my doubts grow as well. I think that's the one thing. It's like you commit to wanting to build your dream life, but there's so many uncertain things along the way that might happen, such as now changing my personality and lifestyle so much that it might not be received the way that I wanted to by the people that I've had in my life for the last 10 years. I've also realized how over the past, like, because I've tried to go through so many of my own personal evolutions over the past 10 years, every single evolution almost coincided with um, losing friends, getting new friends, but then also only maintaining those friendships until I wanted to change again. Um, and I think those are the things that are now starting to create that doubt. I'm going to have to now go through the lonely chapter, but that's also not necessarily scary, but just hard not to be able to do the things that I've become used to doing for so many years. Going partying, getting absolutely fucked up, waking up hungover, and then following this vicious cycle. And pretty much I don't know if it's the right phrase for it, but that like hedonic treadmill of you try do something to get some sort of pleasure, and then that causes a kind of depression or rebound. Obviously, once you go super high, you're gonna be super low at some point, and then when you hit those lows, making rushed decisions to be able to feel better, which leads to chasing pleasure again, which leads to the next high, and then the next low, which is going to be lower than the low before. And that's what I've been chasing for the past, I keep saying my 20s, but it's actually only been like 4, maybe 5 years of just sending it, not giving a fuck. Not I gave a fuck at every single moment of that. I think that's what I also do a lot of the times is I also use my profanity and words to, in a way, protect myself. I say that I don't give a fuck because I'm trying to make it seem like I don't give a fuck, but I actually give way too much of a fuck for all of those things and read in way too deeply into everything. Um, so I think that I've kind of used that as a way to deflect. And yeah, it's just everything's been the last 5 years, or no, the last 10 years about creating a persona and a narrative that fits in to society and into the circles that I'm in, and not being true to myself. And now that I'm trying to be true to myself, there are a lot of other then sacrifices I have to make at the same time. Um, so yeah, that's what I've been really enjoying about recording these videos every day. Is obviously my reading is a reflection of something that I've discovered about myself, and then I can sit here and try and unpack it in real time in my own mind, which may not lend itself to someone watching it, but it also, again, shows what it is like to be me and live in my head, and how my brain works and how my thought patterns work, and how a lot of the time I am actually, again, just my own worst enemy in a way, after spending however many, a majority of my life, telling myself, you're not worth anything, you're a piece of shit, and then getting to the point of actually believing it and letting that become the narrative that I live in my life, but then try and put on a different persona when I am in public, when I am on social media. And for me, the thing that's actually allowed me to finally feel like I'm able to be my real self is putting this stuff online, not being scared to expose myself, because that's why I'd been putting on a persona and trying to hide the real me for so long. But I'm hoping that over time my courage will grow. I mean, again, I'm already putting myself out there. I'm not trying to hide anything of myself anymore. But there are still times when doubts creep in, when I want to go back to my old familiar, I say easy life, but it was fucking shit to be in it, shit to be in my own mind, beating myself up and feeling like I've got nothing to offer the world. And now I have, instead of trying to chase quick things, quick accomplishments, I'm now trying to create the longer time horizon trajectory that I want to follow for my life. And I'm still trying to figure it out. Maybe I might need to go back to studying. I'm definitely going to have to do a whole bunch of courses, which I'm super excited to do, because I actually have realized that I just love learning, and that's why I think studying would actually be a cool option, because I just want to become a student of life, and a student of life means constantly learning and constantly growing. And I hope that through these videos, I'll be able to see my own growth. If someone else sees it, they might be able to be inspired by how much action I'm taking to actively change my life on a daily basis and commit to the future that I want to create for myself. So, wish me luck, because the only person that is going to not let me become who I want to be is myself as well. So, I'm going to have to be constantly aware of where my own past patterns and habits will show up, how I'll be able to compete with those voices and allow my new vision and dream to lead the way. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I did miss a few days, but yeah, that's also will happen from time to time. And as long as I get straight back into this routine, as soon as I've strayed for a day or two, I'll never let it be too long, because I know all too well how hard it is to start a habit again. So thanks for watching, and see you again tomorrow. You.